Hello, Billy here, checking in from my car in the moment. Live and in the moment. It won't be live when you see it, but this is my present reality, which is me updating you that I have successfully completed however many days of this thing I'm on. Got plenty of time to go, so I'm not really worried about the actual day that it is anymore. This is my new lifestyle. As I have experienced this, I realized that I can't really think about it any other way other than that this is just how I live now, which is fine, which is great. I just got back from a work trip to Costco, and it got me thinking about sort of the nature of humanity at the moment right now, which can be a bit depressing, but also is really joyous, and there's a lot of beauty in it. There wasn't a lot of beauty happening at Costco, but in general, I think that there's a lot of beauty in the human experience. But it got me to thinking about this concept of that in general we have a care about meter, and I think that as a society, our care about meter is a little out of whack. We tend to care too much about what's happening in our exact moment right now, and not enough about what is going to happen in the future, or at least the outcome in the future for our current actions. I mean, I guess that the climate change is the thing that comes to mind the most, right? Well, in our current moment, we're not necessarily affected by it, but eventually it could have consequences that really do affect our present moment to a severe degree. And it seems like as a society we should be smart enough to just understand that and move on from the old way of thinking, which is that making money and profiting off of the way that we have always done things, or the way that the Industrial Revolution has enabled us to do things, is maybe not the smartest way for us to go about heading into the future. And the reason why I was thinking about this because of Costco is that people were just so darn interested in having their own way about their Costco experience. I witnessed a driver with their blinker on, ready to go into a spot. Even before they're getting into Costco, they're ready to go into a spot. And I think it was probably out of fear that another vehicle would take the spot that they were signaling into, but they just cut a person off and almost hit a pedestrian. And I watched them get out of their vehicle, and they were very nonplussed about the whole thing. Didn't seem to maybe even register what had happened, or that anybody could have been offended by their actions. They were very self-satisfied maybe in the moment. They weren't like grinning or anything and like looking around and being like, look at me. They were just more like, oh, this is my everyday. And it got me to thinking, like, how is it that like, Costco's a madhouse often. You have to assume that you're going to be spending some time in there. How do you get to the point where, like, even before you get in, you are putting other people at risk just so that you can get there quicker? It's like it's a perspective thing, right? It's like, if your perspective is that you have to go into Costco because they have great deals and they have things that you want, perhaps then you should also have the perspective that might take some time. It's going to take a little bit of time to wait in line. It's going to take a little bit of time to find the things that you want, to get around the crowds. The behavior was astonishing. People were in the midst of, the very heaviest, widest lanes of traffic, would just stop their cart in the middle of it, not even like on a right or a left side of it, just in the middle of it, and then leave their kids in their cart to just go grab something real quick. And I understand that they might want to, not have to push their cart 15 feet over to get out of the way to grab something quick, because then they're just going to go check out, and so why don't they just leave their cart there? But then all of these other people have this very minor inconvenience that happens, and maybe there's these series of minor inconveniences that happen that tend to push someone towards having a really bad time, or a bad day, or a bad in-the-moment experience, or at least a sour one. And it's very thought-provoking to me about how we view a situation, how any single person viewing a situation has an impact on other people, and predominantly has a very large impact on them, their mental state, their physical state, how they're going about their day, and how they're experiencing the things in their lives. So I suppose my message here, as I'm signing off, is that I encourage you to try to be thoughtful about what you care about. Try to be thoughtful about what it is that you are caring or not caring about. If you're not caring about other people or other people's experience, perhaps you should challenge yourself. I will challenge you to try to incorporate that into your thinking. Like, oh, how did my action affect this other person? And it's not like I'm encouraging you to shame yourself if you behaved poorly or something, or you were selfish in a moment. That happens to everyone. I think everyone has moments like that. I have definitely cut people off in traffic and then been like, oh gosh, like that might have really upset them. It's more that being aware of it and conscious of it allows you to make a different decision in the future, and allows me to do that. It's a learning experience, not experience that we need to, like, shame ourselves in. So there's my ramble for the day, my check-in/ramble in 80 or 90 or however many days into this project I am, this challenge. I hope you're doing really well, and you have a great weekend, and you're enjoying your summer, and you're staying relatively cool in all this heat.